The sun is a hammer on the Strait of Hormuz. 2:41 p.m. At the narrowest choke point on the planet, where 20% of the world's oil flows through a slender 21-mile-wide passage, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower carrier strike group transits international waters. It's a routine freedom of navigation patrol. 6 warships, 70 aircraft, 5,000 sailors. But today, routine is about to shatter. Iranian coastal radars, having tracked the group for hours, suddenly lock on. Along 70 kilometers of fortified coastline, missile batteries power up. This is no drill. For weeks, Iran's Revolutionary Guard has planned this moment, the perfect ambush. An American supercarrier, trapped in a narrow strait, surrounded on 3 sides by Iranian territory, with limited room to maneuver. They believe they have the kill shot. At 2:41 p.m., they launch everything. 24 C-802 anti-ship missiles fire simultaneously from 6 hidden coastal batteries. Supersonic, sea-skimming, all converging on a single target, sink the Eisenhower. The calculus in Tehran is cold. 5,000 casualties. A global humiliation. America forced out of the Persian Gulf forever. But in their confidence, Iran made 4 catastrophic mistakes. First, carrier strike groups never travel alone. Surrounding the Eisenhower are 4 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and 2 Ticonderoga-class cruisers, each armed with the Aegis combat system, the most advanced air defense network on Earth. Second, U.S. intelligence has been watching those missile batteries for months. Their exact coordinates are already programmed into strike packages. Third, firing on an American carrier isn't harassment. It's an act of war, and the response will be total. Fourth, and most crucially, the moment those Iranian missiles leave their launchers, 12 Iranian military bases are already slated for immediate annihilation. What unfolds in the next 38 minutes will become the most devastating blow to Iranian military infrastructure in a generation. Here's what happened. As the Eisenhower transited the strait that morning, Captain Sarah Rodriguez briefed her crew. Stay alert, but this is routine. By early afternoon, signals intelligence picked up encrypted chatter, Revolutionary Guard units coordinating, using the phrase package delivery authorized. The threat level spiked. At 2:15 p.m., 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain sent the alert. Iranian batteries are showing launch indicators. On the Eisenhower, the call echoes, General Quarters. Air Defense Condition 1. This is not a drill. Across the strike group, the powerful SPY-1 radars light up, painting the sky, waiting. At 2:41 p.m., the Iranian order comes. Fire. 24 missiles leap from the coast, a coordinated saturation attack designed to overwhelm any defense. Flight time to target, 4 minutes. 15 seconds later, the shriek of the alarm tears through the American ships. Vampire, vampire, vampire. Multiple inbound anti-ship missiles. The Aegis system takes over. At 80 kilometers out, the first SM-6 interceptors streak away. A flash on the horizon, the first Iranian missile vanishes. Then another, and another. The layered defense engages. Long-range SM-2S, then rolling airframe missiles as the threats close. Iranian missiles, skimming just above the waves, are picked off by the dozen. At 20 kilometers, the close-in weapon systems, the last-ditch phalanx Gatling guns, spin up. Their roar a terrifying burst of final defiance. Missiles are shredded into harmless debris. One breaks through the final layer, streaking toward the Eisenhower's flight deck. At 800 meters, a last burst of cannon fire from the cruiser USS Philippine Sea turns it to dust. 2:45 p.m. All 24 Iranian missiles are destroyed. 0 hits, 0 casualties. The carrier is secure. But the story doesn't end there. Because while those missiles were in the air, the American response was already launching. This wasn't just about defense. It was about delivering a lesson so decisive it would rewrite the strategic map of the Persian Gulf. At 2:46 p.m., less than a minute after the last missile splash, vertical launch cells across the American fleet opened. 96 Tomahawk cruise missiles surged toward the Iranian coast. Their targets, the 6 missile batteries that fired, plus their supporting infrastructure, radar installations, command bunkers, ammunition depots. But the Tomahawks were just the opening salvo. From the Eisenhower's deck, 16 F/A-18 Super Hornets launched, armed with glide bombs and anti-radiation missiles designed to blind Iran's radar network. Electronic warfare Growler aircraft filled the air with jamming static. Lurking 40 miles away, the guided missile submarine USS Michigan added 60 more Tomahawks to the storm. High above, 2 U.S. Air Force B-52 Stratofortresses received cleared coordinates and began releasing 72 GPS-guided bombs. What followed was a 38-minute masterclass in overwhelming precision retaliation. First, the 6 coastal batteries that dared to fire were erased from the map, obliterated by direct Tomahawk hits. Then, the radar stations that guided them were hunted by HARM missiles and turned to shattered glass and twisted metal. Command bunkers were penetrated and collapsed. Ammunition depots erupted in chain reaction explosions, so massive they registered on seismometers in Bahrain. Revolutionary Guard Naval Headquarters at Bandar Abbas was flattened. Patrol boats sank at their piers. Training facilities, logistics hubs, surveillance centers, all were systematically dismantled. By 3:19 p.m., it was over. Operation Iron Shield was complete. The accounting was stark. Iran had launched 24 missiles. The U.S. and its allies responded with 314 precision weapons. 14 Iranian military facilities were destroyed. 6 coastal missile batteries, 8 radar installations, 4 command bunkers, 6 ammunition depots, and multiple naval bases were reduced to smoking rubble. An estimated 1,123 Revolutionary Guard personnel were casualties. The cost to the U.S. and its allies? 0. Not a single ship scratched, not a single aircraft lost. The USS Eisenhower never slowed, never altered course. It completed its transit through the Strait of Hormuz on schedule, as if the massive attack had been merely a distraction. Iranian state media blustered about defensive operations and forced retreats, but satellite imagery revealed the undeniable truth. Their decades-old, billion-dollar coastal defense network along the world's most critical oil choke point had been invalidated in half an hour. The strategic message was carved in fire and steel. You cannot close these straits. You cannot sink these carriers. And if you try, you will lose not just the battle, but the very tools you used to start the fight. For years, Iran threatened to strangle global oil flows by shutting down the Hormuz Strait. On this afternoon, they played their best hand, a perfect ambush with their most potent weapons, and they lost everything. The balance of power didn't just tilt, it slammed shut. The Strait of Hormuz remains open. American carriers transit freely, and the world learned that firing at a U.S. carrier strike group doesn't mean harassing a giant, it means inviting an avalanche. An avalanche that arrives in 38 minutes and leaves your defenses as history.